of objects in UFT test automation. Types of objects. Types of objects in UFT test automation. See, in UFT test automation, we work with 4 types of objects. First one, runtime objects. Runtime objects. What is runtime object? Objects that present in the application. See, objects present in the application. See, we have different states of runtime objects. Different states. Just a minute, I will show. See, states of runtime objects. One is enabled, next disabled, next visible, hidden. See, enabled. What is enabled object? See, ready to operate. Suppose this button is there. Enabled. Order number checkbox. Now edit box. Enabled. Observe OK button. What is the state of OK button? Nagesh, what is the state of OK button?
Disable now, sir.
Disable now. So enter any order number, now it is enabled. Next, disabled, enabled, disabled. What is visible? Object is visible. Enabled or not, forget about that. Object is visible at this point of time. Next, hidden. Object is not visible. Next, one more state. One more state. Observe Meghala. In this login dialog box, observe the agent name edit box. Here in this login, total 6 objects are there. One object is in focused state. Which one?
Agent name?
Yes, agent name is in focused state. Say, one more state, focused. Okay, put mute after answering the question, immediately put mute. Say, enabled, disabled, visible, hidden, focused. Next, test objects. Test objects. What is test object? Reference of runtime object. Reference of a runtime object. Say, just a minute. Okay. Record the navigation. Observe in this login dialog, this cancel is button. Cancel is button. Environment standard Windows. Next Google search. Google search also button. Environment is web. See how end user calls. End user calls button is button. Edit box is edit box. Irrespective of the technology. If it is web or VB or standard Windows or Java, anything. But test object names vary from one environment to another. Observe here how it recorded. Win button. Next web button. If it is VB button, VB button, like that. What is this web button and win button? Test object. What is test object? Reference of runtime object. See, test object names vary from one environment to another. If we use recording for designing tests, you no need to bother about test objects. But if you want to create tests using shared objects, suppose if you want to generate tests manually, means without recording, you must know the names of test objects. But no problem. Two possibilities available. You no need to remember test object names even though you are creating test scripts manually. Then how to get test objects information? See, two ways, two possibilities available. Go to Tools menu, Object Identification. Here select Environment. Suppose standard Windows. See, Win button, Win edit, Win list, Win menu, Win object, Win radio button, etc. Next, Visual Basic, VB button, VB checkbox, VB combo box, etc. Next, Web, browser, frame, link, web area, web button, web edit, etc. Otherwise, one more possibility, use Object Spy. See, just a minute. Use Object Spy, Tools menu, Object Spy. Take hand icon and show the object, suppose OK button. What is the class name? Observe, Swati, what is the class name?
Win button.
Win button. Next, show this Google search button. What is the class name?
Web button.
Web button. See, you no need to remember. See, two possibilities available for getting test object names. See, test object names. Test object name varies from one environment to another. See, here also test objects three types. Before that, suppose for example, runtime object button. Button is runtime object. Observe. Suppose if it is standard Windows environment, standard Windows. Next, Visual Basic. Next, Web. See, put mute, somebody system make nice. Try to join in time, joining lately and disturbance. Try to join in time. Say button in Windows environment. What is the test object name? Win button. Win button. Button in Visual Basic environment. VB button. Button in web environment. Web button. Suppose if it is runtime object, edit box. Win edit. Win edit. If it is VB environment, VB edit. If it is web environment, web edit. See, sometimes runtime object names and test object names same, but purpose different. Runtime object, the object present in the application. Test object, reference of runtime object. Example, if you join in any company, they give employee ID. Employee ID is reference of the employee. Next, student roll number, reference of student. Here also same way. Reference of runtime object is test object. See, sometimes runtime object names and test object names might be same. Example, browser. See, in Windows environment, browser not applicable. In web environment, not applicable. Next, in web environment, browser only. Runtime object name, test object name same. Suppose page, not applicable, page. Link also same. Next, how to get test object names. How to get test object names? Surasri, we have two possibilities now. Tell me what are the two possibilities?
Sir, by object file, open the application, then go to tools.
Why opening Why opening application? Okay, using objects by show the object and it gets objects information.
Yeah. Open the application because if the application is not open, how
show the object means open the application only na.
Okay.
Show the object means first opening the application. That is base state. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
How to get test object information, name and properties information. First possibility, using object spy. Show the object and it gets object information. Next possibility, continue Surasri, using another possibility.
Yes, sir. One is using objects first.
That is over.
And another is object repository properties and values.
No. Object identification.
Oh, okay.
Object identification. If it is recording, you no need to remember. Why? Tool can generate the statements. If you want to generate scripts manually using either object spy or object identification, you can get test object names. Object spy is best feature. See, object identification also. Here select environment, standard Windows. See, if it is button, win button, edit, win edit, etc. But object spy is best one. Say open the application. Next, launch object spy, tools menu, object spy, take hand icon, show the object. So it is showing class name win edit, name of the edit box is agent name. See, object spy located in Just a minute. See, observe object spy. Object spy located in three areas. First area, UFT tool main window. Second area, in object repository. Third area, in object repository manager. Okay. See. I think all of you familiar with runtime objects, test objects. Runtime objects, test objects. Tell me, Muhammad Sohail, what is runtime object and what is test object?
Okay, sir. Test object is reference of runtime object.
What is runtime
Mm.
object?
A runtime object is object who is present in the applications.
Good. Next, Jevan, states of runtime objects. We have basically we have 5 states of runtime object. What are the 5 states?
It's enable, disable, visible and hidden.
One more thing. Only 4 you mentioned.
Focus.
Focused. Okay. Next, third one, utility objects. Utility objects. See, they are UFT reserved objects used for testing and result reporting. We have several utility objects in UFT, but every utility object is unique. Okay, today I will introduce one utility object. Day by day we will discuss the remaining utility objects. See, first definition. This is generic definition, but every utility object is unique. They are UFT reserved objects. No relation with VB script. They are UFT reserved objects used for testing and result reporting. See, example, system util. It is one of the utility object. What is the purpose of this utility object? It has different types of usage, but one of the usage is launching applications. See, launching applications. Syntax, system util dot run. Run is method on this object. Within double quotes, path of the application. Path of the application. If it is Windows based application, it is for Windows based application. See, if it is web based application, system util dot run. Next, path of the browser. Next, comma, URL. URL not case sensitive, but try to use small letters. This is for web based application. See example. System util dot run. Next, path of the application. Path of the executable file. Next, if it is web, system util dot run. Next, path of the browser. path of the browser, next URL. Put base state and run the script. Observe Nagesh, launch it na?
Yes, sir.
See, remaining utility objects we will discuss in practical chapters. This is one of the example. Next, fourth one, automation objects. Automation objects. See, already I have given a brief idea for automation objects in UFT test process chapter. Can you tell me, Swati, what are automation objects? Already we discussed it. Parvin, can you tell me? Hey, nobody responding. Try to respond.
User-defined objects used to work with drives, files, folders, and database.
Good. See, they are user-defined. User can define. See, in our test automation, we use different types of keywords. Example, function is keyword, method is keyword, object is keyword, statement is keyword. We use different types of keywords in our test automation. Some keywords belongs to UFT, some keywords belongs to VB script. Example, system utility object, UFT tool keyword. Browser, test object, UFT tool keyword. Next, wait statement, VB script statement. Next, is numeric function or display purpose we use MSG box function. MSG box, it is VB script keyword. Say, in our test automation, we use different types of keywords, UFT keywords and VB script keywords. Some are predefined keywords, remaining user-defined keywords. See, these automation objects are user-defined keywords. User can use own names, but utility objects, test objects, predefined. We cannot change the name. See, user-defined objects used to work with drives, folders, databases, and files. And one more thing we discussed, end user point of view, this segregation, drive, folder, database, file. But computer point of view, everything is file. Computer understands things in terms of files only. Computer point of view, drive is file, folder is file, database is file, and file is file. See, some are saying database files. Yes, correct, Tom. Got this point, Meghala?
Sir?
What I told? Concentrate, Meghala. What I told, tell me. What is the last concept? What is the last concept?
Automation objects.
No.
And you
No.
were saying that
Hmm.
computer will treat everything like it could be drivers or folders or files. It treat everything as file.
Good. Hmm. But end user point of view, this segregation, drive, C drive, D drive, folders, folder names, user defined. Next, databases and files. Okay, na? You know the concept.
Okay.
Why you are asking again? Okay. Here, VB script has several object models. VB script has several object models, but our test automation point of view, 4 or 5 object models are important. What are the important object models? One is file system object model. File system object model. Next, before next model, purpose of file system object model and class value Swati. Purpose and class value already we discussed. It is used to work with drives, folders and files. Here one small limitation is there. It is only for flat files. But you can create and delete Excel files, Word documents, PDF files, etc. using file system object. But it treats them as flat files only. You cannot perform internal operations. What are the internal operations? Reading is internal, writing is internal, comparison is internal. You can perform external operations only. If it is flat file, you can perform all internal and external operations. Anyhow, that I will explain in file system object model. This automation object chapter takes nearly 6 hours. Okay. Just remember, it is used to work with drives, folders and files. Files, flat files. What is flat file? File which doesn't have any format. Example, notepad. But we can create and delete other types of files also. Those are external operations. Suppose if you want to delete file, if you want to delete any file, you no need to open that file. If you want to read data, you need to open the file. That is internal operation. Got the limitation, Jeevan?
Yes, sir.
Next, class value. Continue, Jeevan. Class value. Already we discussed.
The class value, then scripting the file system object.
Good. You need to remember these class values. Why? No context help. Say, UFT provides context help, but no context help for getting class values. You need to remember. For example, system util, enter dot, it is providing context help. Here you can choose method, but no context help for class values. Class values not case sensitive. Anyhow, VB script not a case sensitive language. Scripting dot file system object. Next, Excel application object model. Excel application object. Surasri, Excel application object. Purpose and class value. Why people are not responding? You tell me, Parvin. Excel application object, purpose and class value. Nagesh.
It is used to work with Excel application. This is the purpose, and the class value is Excel.application.
Okay. It is used to work with Excel application, or you can say Excel files. We can work with multiple files at a time. Next, class value Excel dot application. You just remember class values. I will explain how to create objects in Automation Object Models chapter. Excel dot application. Observe, Jeevan, using file system object also, we can create and delete Excel files, and we can check the existence of Excel files. Then why Excel application object model?
Excel is like external application.
External application. Notepad also external application, na?
We cannot perform internal operation
Who is
in
telling?
file system object.
Say, already told, file system object treats every file as flat file only. We cannot perform internal operations for Excel and Word and other types of files. What are the internal operations? Suppose if you want to read data from Excel, first we have to take row count. File system object is helpless for that. Why? In flat files, no rows and columns concept, only lines. So if you want to perform internal operations, you need to create Excel application object. Suppose only external operation. Example, create file, delete file, check the existence of file, get the size of file. Those are external operations. Any confusion, Jeevan?
Yes, sir. Here.
Okay. Next, Word application object. Say it is used to work with Word application. Word application, or you can say Word documents. Say, observe, application file. Suppose file name ABCD. Say, observe, header, Microsoft Excel ABCD. This is Excel file, or technical term Excel workbook. Next, close this file. Now observe, Meghala, what is this one? What is this entity?
Don't know, sir.
Excel application.
Oh, okay.
Here no file open na.
No, sir. Yeah.
This is
nothing
Excel
is open.
application. From Excel application you can open Excel files.
Oh, okay. Okay.
See, observe. You can open and close. You can work with multiple Excel files also. See, observe. This is what is this? Excel file or Excel application?
This one is Excel file, sir.
This one?
Excel application.
Excel application.
Where you can launch the file, different
files. Just a minute. MS Word. File name XYZ. Observe Surasri, is it a Word document or Word application?
Sir, Word document.
Word document. Next, this one.
Word application.
Okay. All of you getting the difference between application and file?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See. It is used to work with a Word application or Word documents. Application is single, documents multiple, one or more. Next, class value. Muhammad Sohail, class value.
Yes, sir, class value is Word dot application.
Good. Word dot application. Next, database objects. Say file system object is single object, Word application object single, Excel object also single. But in database area we have 4 object models. For our test automation, 2 object models are important. See, database objects. First one is main object, database record set, single word, record set object. Tell me, Parvin, what is the purpose of database record set object? Meenakshi. Surasri, what is the purpose of database connection object? Sorry.
Sir,
First one, database record set object.
sir, it is used to perform operations on tables.
Okay.
And
Actually, this is not primary object. I forgot. First, database connection object. Continue, Surasri. What is the purpose of database connection object?
to connect to databases, sir.
Okay. It is used to connect to databases. Any database connection string only varies from one database to another. Object is same. Tell me, Meenakshi, class value for creating database connection object. Hello? Meenakshi, can you hear me? What is the problem? Parvin?
I hear you.
Tell me. Why you are not responding? Respond.
Okay. The class will Word dot application and
Class value?
yeah, scripting file system object.
What I am asking, what you are telling, Parvin? First of all, tell me what is my question?
Your question is class value on database.
Class, what is the class value for creating database connection object? What you are telling? What is file system object? What is scripting? The last class only we discussed that one. Last but one. Continue. Nagesh, class value for creating database connection object.
Adobe dot connection.
Say ADO DB. ActiveX data objects database dot connection. Next, database record set object. See, it is used to perform operations on database tables, nothing but records. Perform operations on database tables. Class value ADODB dot record set. Next, one more object, dictionary object. J1, dictionary object, purpose and class value.
It is used to define key value pairs and class value is scripting dictionary.
Good. It is used to define key. Key means index. Key comma value pairs. See, class value. Scripting dot dictionary. Scripting dot dictionary. See, all these are automation objects and global objects. Next, one local object model. QTP application object. QTP application object. See, purpose, it is used to automate UFT tool operations. Don't confuse. Generally, we automate our application operations using UFT tool. This QTP application object allows us to automate UFT tool operations. In practical chapter, I will explain that one. Just remember, it is used to automate UFT tool operations. Using this object, we can provide instructions to UFT tool. UFT, you launch, open so and so test, run the test, close the test, and quit, like instructions. See, it is used to automate UFT tool operations. And it is local object model. Why it is local object model, Swati? Remaining all are global models, but this QTP application object model is local model. Why it is local model?
Because it's related to tool.
Related to tool is not the correct answer. Less clarity or no clarity. Can you tell me, Sneha? Why QTP?
We can, it's an internal.
Terms confusing. Nageshwar Rao?
It's used for only specific test operations which we want to automate.
J1, already I told that concept. Say, this QTP application object exclusively created for UFT. It is only for UFT scripting, not for other types of scripting. But take file system object model, Excel model, Word model, they are global models used for all types of scripting. Already we discussed VB script not only for UFT, other advantage also there. Client-side scripting in the web, that is not our usage, generally web developers use. In HTML, web developers integrate VB script code components. Client-side scripting in the web, server-side scripting in the web, web developers integrate VB script code in ASP, active server pages. Next, network administration, system administration and test automation. VB script has several types of usage. One of the usage is UFT test automation, but this local model only for UFT test automation, remaining models for all types of scripting. Any confusion or getting the point, J1?
Yes, yes.
What about you, Nagesh?
I'm clear, sir.
Okay. Class value, quick test, dot application. See, these are the important object models in VB script for our test automation point of view. Just remember types of objects in UFT test automation. In UFT, we work with 4 types of objects. First, runtime objects. Objects which are present in the application are called runtime objects. Next, we discussed 1 minute. States of runtime objects also. Different states. Enabled, disabled, visible, next hidden, next focused. Next, test objects. Test object, reference of runtime object is called test object. Test object name may varies from one environment to another. Using object spy or object identification feature, we can get test object names. If it is recording, you no need to get test object names. If you want to generate test manually, get test object names. Why? You need to type the script. Okay. Next, here also different states of test objects. That concept we forgot. Different types of test objects. See. Constant object, constant. Next, dynamic object. Next, duplicate object. Constant, see, states of test object. Constant object. What is constant object? Whose property values are fixed. Example, OK button is there. Every time that button name is OK, whose property values are fixed, that is constant object. Next, dynamic object, whose property values change dynamically throughout the execution. Observe, this is dialog box. What is the label of dialog box? Fax order number 1. Next, what is the label of this dialog box? Fax order number 7. It is dynamic object. See. Whose properties values. See, one object may have multiple properties. Values are fixed. Next, dynamic object. whose property values change dynamically throughout the execution. Suppose first time fax order number 1, second time fax order number 2, like that. Change dynamically throughout the execution, or whose property values change dynamically every time. Execution. Next, duplicate object. See, two or more objects. Two or more objects with the same properties. Two or more objects with the same description. See, property. What is property, Meghala? Do you have any idea? General meaning? See here, observe. Anyhow, that we will discuss later. Object, one concept. Property, one concept. Next, method. See, system util dot run. Run is method. What is object? Object, which is something. Object is something which has structure and properties. Object is something which has structure and properties. Then tell me, Meghala, what is property? General term, what is property?
It is through the property we will differentiate the object. QTP will uniquely identify an object
I am
by
asking
its property.
general term property. General term. Object. Object is something which has structure and properties. What is property? Nagesh.
What are the uniqueness of that particular object?
See, very simple. It
Sir,
is,
attribute.
Attribute?
yes, it is an attribute of the object. Who is telling?
Meenakshi, sir.
Okay. It is an attribute of the object. Method, operation on object. Example, man is object. Properties, name is one property. ABCD, that is value. Name is one property. Age is one property. Color, height, width, etc. Properties. Example, dog is object. Properties, height of the dog, height. Next, color of the dog. Next, methods on dog object. Barking, jumping, those are operations on that object. Okay, now Meghala, can you differentiate property and method on object?
Yes, sir. I understand.
Okay, good. See, now tell me, Surasri, before moving to next topic, test objects having three states now. One is constant, next dynamic, next duplicate. What is constant object?
Sir, constant objects where property values are fixed.
Dynamic
And
object.
Pardon? Like
object.
OK button, sir.
Okay.
Hello?
Dynamic objects. Okay, constant over. Maintenance timing.
Dynamic objects are where the property value keeps changing dynamically throughout the execution.
Good. Next,
For example,
examples not required, just definition level. Okay, next duplicate objects.
two or more objects with same description
or same property values. Okay.
or
See,
same property.
see constant object. No issues with constant object. Next, just remember how to handle dynamic objects using regular expressions. Next, how to handle how to handle dynamic objects using regular expressions. Next, how to handle duplicate objects using index property. Just remember, in future I will show how to, Meghala, how to handle dynamic objects,
Using regular expressions, sir.
how to handle duplicate objects,
Using index values,
Index.
ordinal identifiers.
index property, just remember,
Yes,
using
yes,
index
yes.
property. Next, continue Surasri. What are utility objects and what are automation objects?
Sir, utility objects are reserved objects.
UFT
used for-
reserved objects.
UFT reserved objects
Ah,
for testing and result reporting.
used for
exam-
testing and result reporting. Okay.
Example, system util to open a window or a browser, we use that statement.
Okay.
The object
Okay.
and what is
Okay. Example is not required. Just next,
Okay.
automation objects.
Sir, can we
Is there
repeat
any-
the definition of utility object?
Who is telling?
Sir, this is Meenakshi. Can you repeat the definition of utility objects, please?
Okay. Utility objects are UFT reserved objects used for testing and result reporting. Today I just introduced one utility object called system util. Day by day we will discuss remaining utility objects. Anyhow, utility objects, every utility object is unique. What we discussed, the definition is generic. Next, last one. Continue, Meenakshi. Automation objects. Meenakshi, you continue. Automation objects. What are automation
Sir.
objects?
Sir, these are user-defined objects.
User-defined objects used to work with
Used to work with applications, sir.
drives, folders, files, and
Oh, yeah.
databases.
Sorry.
See, cool.
Used to work with drives, folders, databases, and files.
Okay. See, this is a brief introduction about types of objects in UFT. Next, one more chapter before going to discuss keyword-driven methodology. Already I told, for recording tests, no basics knowledge required. Why? If you know the navigation you record, tool can generate the test script. But if you want to create tests manually without recording, you must know some basics. Next chapter, important chapter, object repository. Object repository. Repository, it is general term, global term. You can find this term in manual testing also. Repository means a common storage place. Generally, we use common storage place for storing documents in manual testing. Repository means a common storage place. What is object repository? It is a storage place for storing objects information. See, it is a storage place for storing objects information. What type of objects, Meghala? Runtime objects or test objects or utility objects or automation objects?
Runtime objects, sir. When we
Runtime objects.
runtime objects.
Wrong answer. Continue, Jeevan. Runtime objects, wrong answer.
No, sir. While recording the script, the QTP will store all the objects and its properties in the object repository.
The description is not required. Unnecessary description. What
Sir,
is my
test
question?
object.
What is my
Test
question?
object.
1 minute, Meenakshi. What is my question, Meghala? Give clear explanation. What is my question? What type of objects? See, it is a storage place for storing objects information. What type of objects? I gave the 4 options also. Runtime objects or test objects or utility objects or automation objects.
Test objects.
Test objects. See. What is Meenakshi?
So I was saying test object.
Okay,
That's all.
cool. Yeah. It is a storage place for storing test objects information. This is what is object repository. See. Next, why object repository? Guess, Surasri, why object repository?
Sir, until and unless we are not able to map the test object and the runtime object, how will the QTP know what application we are testing?
Less clarity. Okay, your intention is correct, but your concept correct, but less clarity. See, why object repository? See, basically, UFT is object-based test tool. Based on front-end objects only, it performs test operations. So, in order to recognize our application objects, object repository is required. Next, one exception is there. For database operations, no front-end object is required. Then how UFT performs database operations? Nagesh, how UFT performs